places. You're saving lives. But you are also making history. When we get past the idea that degradation benefits people with substance abuse issues, we will have achieved the following. Collectively, as a species, we will understand that such treatment, beatings, rapes, marginalization, do not benefit anyone. For the longest time, most people would agree that it's good to treat each other right. But there were exceptions. Except gays, except this, except that. The governing wisdom now has one exception left. It's the drug addict. My point is not that those other groups are not targeted, but the official line has changed. Remember what I said about Native people? Officially, we're not supposed to hurt them. That's a big step, even if it still goes on. We're starting to get it. Overcoming this one last stupid prejudice pertaining to substance abuse will involve an entirely new way of looking at humanity. Of course, we're not going to live up to it right away. It might take centuries. But at least all of humanity will, for the first time in history, understand something that has never, and I mean never, been understood. That no human being is made better, improved, or turned into a better citizen by these kinds of treatments. We started to get it a few centuries back during the dawn of the Enlightenment. Now we are in the process of finishing something that other great figures started long, long ago. A century from today, even 10 centuries from today, places like the Insight Clinic will be proper topics for history courses. All of us, right here, we're standing on the last frontier in a development that I've identified, and it's an important one. You know, maybe historians will talk about the great Dr. Gabor and his heroic efforts. Maybe historians will desperately try to sift out the truth about people like Russ, Rebecca, and Caleb. What were they really like? A school teacher might have to explain to a room full of students, no, Russell Maynard wasn't bigger than life. He wasn't an angel. He wasn't 6'6". And that story about him beating a bear in a fair fight is just a myth. That's the kind of stuff that happens when people do great things. And we are doing great things right here. But maybe they might talk about Liz and have heated debates about what kind of person was she really like. Is this story true? Is that other one just a myth? You people sitting in this room are witness to something great, something fantastic. This isn't just about the addict on the street. It's about closing a chapter in an arduous quest for decency and enlightenment, a fight that has been underway for centuries. Right here, right now, we're putting the last nails into the coffin of an attitude that has justified suffering and degradation since the dawn of history. As I stand before you, and this is just my opinion, I sincerely believe that humanity is stepping out of its infancy. Often, very often, people involved in great and pivotal historical roles stay focused on the tasks at hand and remain unaware of how important their efforts are. They're busy. They're taking care of addicts day to day. They're busy. But you guys are lucky because you have a smart guy like me to explain it all to you. Often, all right, some 2,000 years ago, someone said that we should treat others the way we wish to be treated. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Now, I don't know if the historical figure Jesus was the first to say that. What I do know is that it was about 2,000 years ago that line of thought started to get some real airtime. And at the time, it was a radical thought. Typically, you take care of your own. And how you treat somebody else's family, that has nothing to do with how you want to be treated. Somebody said, all human beings, any human being you meet, try to treat that person the way you ought to be treated. That's 2,000 years old. And we haven't always lived up to it. But at least for the most part, most of us had understood that that's a good idea. It was a huge step in human consciousness. And I wonder, can this development, the one we are here to achieve, is it any less significant? I don't know. But I don't think I'm out of line to make this comparison, because I really think that we're onto something that big. I'll repeat, for the first time in history, humanity will understand that no human being benefits from degradation. It took us thousands of years to get our heads around that fact, but now we're starting to. I'm going to read a little bit from my book, just a very little. I call this talk The Last Frontier. I discuss how so many other groups have achieved recognition in the sense that, if nothing else, the official line is not that they need to be beaten and degraded, tortured, raped. So I end like this. Crackheads, junkies, working girls, now it's our play. And this might just be the last frontier. Now you think about the people who opposed slavery, who opposed the abolition of slavery. Think about people who opposed the abolition of segregation. Think about the people who opposed the introduction of women's suffrage. Where are they today? History is pissing all over their graves. That's where they are. And the same thing will happen to Steve Harper and his crew.